Finally, that day was over. Finally over. That was the longest day ever. So, normally I don't really sit there at the computer the whole day, but I feel like the whole day today I was at the computer trying to figure out what this all was. And here's what I came up with. I think that it makes the most sense that this is a second wave here. Just because if you look at QQQ, this is looking more and more like a second wave. You have a gap down here at 505 though, so it might come a little bit lower. I think Tesla could still come down here to like 383. So this would actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 like that, because the 1.61 fib is still down here a little ways at 387. Actually, we hit 389. It could have bottomed too, but we'll find out tomorrow, I guess. I was thinking one more move up, or one more move down, and that would be the end of the second wave. So I think that Tesla could be ready to go up to that target, be ready to go up here to 580, like that. I think that that is very likely, because the only catalyst it's going to have here near term is going to be earnings. And we have earnings on Wednesday, and it's like perfect timing with QQQ coming down into this demand zone for a second wave. Tesla goes to 580, this goes to 570. There you go. That's a pretty dang big move for Tesla. That's what I think is most likely. We'll see. I guess an alt count would just be A, B, C, B, C, and then come down here to 350. I don't see this as an impulse down, so I don't think it's going to go straight to 350 here. I think it's either going to go up here and then down, or it's just going to go straight to 580. So that's my thoughts on Tesla. And then we got NVIDIA. Let's go to AMD first, actually. So something interesting about AMD here is it made a new low here. But let's look at this first wave here. This wave back here was an ABC move, and it went from 227 all the way down to 121. Let's take the length of this A wave here and put it right here. Look where it goes to. It goes to 108.58. Okay, we'll keep that there for a second. And look at this formation right here and like what we're at right now. Looks very similar. I think that there's a small chance, actually a pretty good chance at this point, that this was supposed to be the second wave. And it's pretty tough to see this. But third wave here, fourth wave, fifth wave down. It'd be a pretty short fifth wave. But right now, I'm thinking there's a chance we go down here to 108. Hopefully at bottom, maybe I'm wrong, it ends up being an ABC move. But this looks like an impulse. The smaller waves look like an impulse right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down to 108. And then, when this goes down, where does it retrace to? It retraces to a little bit short of the 0.61 fib. So let's say we go down to 108. What's short of the 0.61 fib? Weekly supply. Like literally around the spot I've been talking about for a while, around like 140. So potentially this is a B up to weekly supply. And then let's just see where this went to. It went a little bit past the 1.23 fib. So we go to 108. A little bit past the 1.23 fib is at 93 bucks. Where does that 93 bucks sound familiar from? 93 bucks. W, X, Y, A, B, C. I showed you how all the dimensions are the exact same. So now if we zoom in here, let's go on smaller time frames. And we have 1, 2, 3, and it looks like it's starting a fourth wave to me. So this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could even be in a fourth wave of a third wave too, if you really want to break it down on smaller time frames. Debatable, whatever. I think it's probably in a third wave. We're probably starting a fourth wave here, and it'll probably bounce tomorrow a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised, 116, 117, and then make the final move down here to 108. And then from there, big bounce. We should see a, what is that? It's almost like a, that's basically like a 30% move, 35% move from there up here to 140. So I showed you AMD, now let's go straight to NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks like it's in a fourth wave. Fifth wave would take it down here to 115. And then that would make this ABC. And it's basically the exact same thing. Bounce to like 140. And then come down here to like 100. A little bit higher than AMD. Maybe a little bit lower. We'll see, I guess. But I'm looking at the same for the same thing on NVIDIA that I am for AMD. Bounce to 140, down to 100. From there, not really sure, don't really care right now. I just know that I'm trying to sell in this area right here. So it's Tesla, NVIDIA, I showed you how they're all on the same plane. If this is a 20% move, it wouldn't be a 20% move yet. It'd be a, no, it would be a 20% move. That would be, yeah, about a 20% move. 20% from here from Tesla. It's only 79 bucks. Let's see, that would take it to 4. So actually, now that I'm looking at this, it looks like Tesla more than likely would be finishing up the B wave. So I'm wrong about this going to 580 right away, because 79 plus 397 takes it to like this gap fill, more or less. So it'd be A, B, C, like that. And then we would get 5 waves down, similar to AMD, similar to NVIDIA. The exact same count on all 3 of these. So now you can see what I'm expecting. The only thing that doesn't really make sense right now is QQQ. But if we follow that same narrative of going up and then getting that final move down, we would still be looking for a move up. Maybe this turns into being a bigger ABC move. It looks like an inverse head and shoulders right now anyway, so that's very bullish. Should see something back up here around 540 when all of those go wild, and then maybe it comes down like that to 492, and then from there we go to new highs. Maybe I'm wrong about NVIDIA. Maybe it will come down here and then go to new highs. It's possible. So I just know the short-term movement, that's what it looks like. So I'm looking for basically one more down day on all of these stocks that I've gone over. After a bounce tomorrow morning, one more down day. And then I'm looking for a big bounce of about maybe 20% on some of these stocks. So NVIDIA would be about 20%, maybe less if it only goes to 136. AMD looking for at least up here to 137. And let's look at the timing of that too on AMD. So the timing of that, how long did it take? The bottom here, it took 2 months and 8 days. So if we bottom on like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're looking at something into early April up around in here. So let's just put a circle around there. And then we're looking at a less than a month down. So sell in May, go away. I guess a little bit short of that. It's going to be April, straight down into May. And then we should see a melt up from there. So it looks like it's probably going to be a rough, I mean, not a rough, it's going to be nice for the next couple of months. It looks like to me. but you're going to have a huge move down in like April or May, though. That's what I see right now, and then Tesla looks like it probably will fill the gap at 450. We'll see on QQQ. Maybe it ends up making a new high and then coming back down here to like 470. I don't know right now. Let's go over Bitcoin. Bitcoin is potentially in a 5-wave move extension. So we have 1, 2, potentially this happens while everything else is going up. It didn't really dip that much. I mean, it's down, it's pretty much flat on the day, and this setup looks very bullish to me. It's a very bullish setup in my opinion, and so it could just extend. It could extend up here to 124, pull back, and then go higher from there. Amazon was barely down, but I didn't look at it enough. SMCI. Potentially the same setup as Tesla. So we have A, B, C, and then down here, and then up. So it looks very, it looks like a pretty good spot here for being bullish up here to like 40 bucks. And then probably down here to 24 bucks. So that's going to be a massive drop if that plays out like I have it laid out. 450 down to 350. That's a 20% move. AMD, if it goes from 140 down to 93, it's an even bigger move. NVIDIA from 135 down to 100. It's about a 30% move. So we'll see if it plays out or not. I mean, I just know where I'm buying at. That's pretty much what it comes down to in the short-term time frame, and then I kind of figure out what I think the most likely scenario is on the farther out time frames. But it doesn't really matter because you can always adjust day by day. If you're up, you can sell. You just figure it out day by day. You're not always going to be right 2 or 3 months out. Let's look at Boeing. Boeing had earnings today, basically flat. And I still think that this needs to come down more. Similar to everything else, I think it's probably going to be finishing up a B wave. But if we're going to go up a bunch, I just think this needs to retrace a little bit more. If it retraces a little bit more, then I'd be really bullish on it. It's hard for me to buy in right here. So maybe this ends up making like a B wave like that and then coming back down and then going up with everything else. I wouldn't be buying here. It hasn't retraced enough. I don't know what their earnings were though, so maybe their earnings were good. I don't know. I'd probably wait till 160 minimum. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be buying here. So Boeing could go up here way higher though when everything else takes off. Potentially 217, maybe all the way up here to the 240 gap fill when it's all said and done. We'll see. But 217 is the 1.61 fib, so it might only get to there. Let's look at HIMS. I had a question about HIMS. I still think it needs to come down. They're holding it up here though. So it had a pretty nice day, but it still needs to come down in my opinion. So I just showed you how AMD and NVIDIA are likely to bounce. That's not necessarily going to happen with the overall market though, because think about it, those were the AI plays. And this isn't an AI play. A lot of these stocks didn't really move today because there's no reason for it to tank. The market was only tanking because of that AI stuff. So the AI stocks might bounce big and everything else might not move that much. And HIMS is probably going to do that. I think it needs to come down one more time. It's not a 5-wave move here. You had this move up. You made a new low. That's A, B, C, as I had drawn up here before. So you need at least one more move down. You still need to move down here, probably back down to like 24 bucks. And then that will be the end of the fourth wave. So, you know, the more I'm looking at all these stocks, it's probably they're all just in fourth waves. They're all just in tricky fourth waves. We know Tesla's in a fourth wave. We know SMCI, I'm not really sure if that's in a fourth wave. We know everything's in a fourth wave, though. I can go over like Meta. Meta didn't really do that much today. It was actually up. So, yeah, I mean, they're all in fourth waves. Amazon was pretty much flat too. What else we got here? Google was down, is flat, was pretty much flat too. No, it was down 4%, okay. Which makes sense because it's trying to make a fourth wave down. So yeah, I mean, everything's pretty much in a fourth wave. Let me see what else I can go over here. Sim, I bought more of that today. It hit a demand zone down here on the daily. Right into demand here at 27.11, I bought some. And that's just a stock that I'm just averaging into because I think it's going to go much, much higher. What else? Coin. Let's go over coin. Coin's either going to be finishing up a fourth wave down here. Likely, if you're looking at everything else, it's likely making a first wave down. So this is likely down here to 262. Bounce back here, and then let's just look at the measurements here. Third wave would take it down to 236, bounce potentially down here to 210. And I've shown in the past. So I don't know. Bitcoin looks bullish, but maybe it also will come down some more. This is definitely finishing up a fourth wave, in my opinion. I don't know why I have this labeled like this, though. This should be 3 right here. Fourth wave's right here, and then a fifth wave higher. So I think that coin can come down here to 210. Yeah, this day pretty much like fried my brain looking at all these stocks and trying to figure out what they're doing and putting it all together. Let's look at ELF. I did a video on that, and that came down a lot more than I thought it might be in a third wave, but we sell off 4% in the overall market, and now it's almost for sure probably coming down here to 87 bucks, that gap fill, because now you definitely have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else? I guess I'll leave it at that for now. Hopefully that gives you an idea of what I'm thinking. My main stocks that I followed today were AMD, Nvidia, Tesla, and I bought into this stock and it absolutely tanked even more. Not worried about it because if everything bounces back, it should also bounce back to probably up like 20% or so. Even though that's only like low 30s, maybe it goes all the way back up here to like 36 bucks. That's where the gap is at from the sell-off today. Now 39 bucks. So we'll see on that. That's pretty much all I got for right now. Hopefully that gives you an idea. AMD was the most descriptive one, and that should be the general overall way the market should look, I think, over the next couple of months. So look for a bounce after one more low of potentially 20% on AI stocks and a big bounce in QQQ as long as they can hold the lows. That's it for this video. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates, and I'll catch you in the next video.